Shit. What's going on, gang? So we have really ain't had really too much time to talk for real, and I feel like now that it's a more prominent thing that I'm doing YouTube as a more consistent matter, not only for the sake of Black History Month, but at the same time to show consistency as a as a content creator in general, right? So obviously I've spoke on this a few times, but more correctively in depth I'm going to be about it this time. So just to start it off, just the easiest way to describe it was, I think, honestly, what really got me into music long term, like I was already listening to like all kinds of genres in the household. Like I was primarily raised with my grandfather, so my sister and I, we always had like a mixed genre household. Like my grandfather's favorite artist was Nat King Cole and Sam Cooke, right? So like Sam Cooke was always a continued playlist in the household, especially when it came to my granddad's old record player. He would always used to crank a change gonna come, and it was like around like I think around like 9 or 10 did he really explain to me the significance of you know black people and music in general. And by this point, like I was not really getting it. I wasn't really like understanding it. So at one point he sat me down. Like I asked him, I was like, why is it like you keep saying the oldies but goodies? You know what I'm saying? So he sat me down one day and he basically educated me on pretty much that whole thing as like a collective. Like he didn't, like, as we call it, a culture now. To him, it was a rite of passage that African Americans at in his time found relief during times of struggle, like the civil rights movement and stuff like that. So it was like I never really got it at that point. But by the time I was like young, like I always had like I was already an advocate video game player. Like I was always loved the little soundtracks video games had and stuff like that. And I think by the time I was like able to understand it, like, yeah, he put me on. Like I was listening to Michael Jackson, like I think 5 times a day. I think I listened to Ted Bundy. I think about like, no, not Ted Bundy. I think I listened to Luther Vandross maybe before Luther Vandross died in 2008. I was listening to him, and that was just like it was just crazy, like because I was already like starting to feel the music like low key take over me. Like the artists that really got me into it for real, not even top three. Like it was Outkast, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Big L, Biggie, Tupac, and what is it? Long and the singer from Kingdom Hearts, and I was just like, damn, like what I wouldn't like. I wish I could like have met these people. You know what I mean? Like I really, really wish I had like had a chance to like hear it from them. So it was just like when I actually decided to take this, when I actually decided to pursue music, like at one point my grandfather was not liking it because he was like, you're paying attention to all the flashy clothes and the women and stuff like that. And admittedly, I'm not gonna lie, like, it like at one point that's really what it was all about. I was really just in it for the money, but then I realized like I'm in it for the notoriety. You know, I'm like I got to that point before 2018. Like I was not in it for the money. I was in it for the notoriety. You know, like it's not it's the respect I'm wanting, not like I want to have my name on a hit record or or something else, or just have my name on a billboard. I want to be able to sit up there with with the higher ups and be like, yeah, this is me, you know. So it was, I think, when I first learned started to learn how to produce music, it was like late, like early 2008. Like it was a little bit before my first song, and I was just like, I was in the studio out in Baltimore. I was still a kid. Like I was still like relatively new to the whole thing, trying to get in there, do what I got to do or whatever. Because I remember, like when I first started like rapping, in a sense, I don't really know, like I think, like, cause I was always a happy collective kid as it is. Like I was always known to get into shit and just do whatever I felt like. But I think I like after my first breakup at that point, like mind you, I was still a kid, so I was like, I never like my mother really never explained to me the difference between falling in love versus just having a crush. And I remember like I came home one day, like after it was like some bullshit middle school drama or whatever have you, like I was crying like a little bitch, and my granddad, he was like, "It's okay, like you know what you do." He was like, "You know what I used to do when I felt on hard times." He would listen to music. So my granddad played Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, and I was like, "Yeah, he's on to something." And mind you, early 2008, I think like One Republic's "Too Late to Apologize" had already been out for like a couple months by that point, and it was popping. Like the summer of 2007, that joint that joint came out. It was just like we was in the classroom singing it. We was in the lunchroom singing it. Like I remember me and one of my buddies, we memorized the song word for word. Like we would just be in the hallway just screaming that shit, be like, "It's too late." It was crazy. So like now it's like I see it now and I'm just like, One Republic, even though they not what made me start liking music, like they for real put a perspective on me, like you can do something with that. And I think when I first produced that song and my buddy Dicey had mixed it for me, he was like, "Bro, this is hard." Like he was like, "Bro, you young as shit, you doing something like this." And I thought I could really go somewhere with it. So mind you, like it was both something I produced the track. Dicey helped me co-produce it, mixed it for me. I rapped on that bitch. I was just like crazy, man. I think it really it set me up for a bigger success than what I was initially anticipating. And then I turned around, like everybody was gassing me, talking about something. I'm not doing nothing with it or whatever have you. But when I performed it for the first time at my school's talent show, I felt like I was that nigga for like all the middle school. Like I felt like that. Like I really felt like I was him. I was really feeling like I was one of them. And it's crazy. And I really like even now like my mother didn't show up to the talent show the night I performed it, but my younger cousin was there to support me obviously, and his mother. So like when they drove me home, my aunt like ran up to the steps or whatever. She was knocking on the door like, "Do, do, 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 do." Like I was like, "Bro, my mother about to kill me." And my cousin was like, "No, bro, you gotta let her know. You gotta let her hear it." And I remember like my mother opened the door so quick. She's like, "What the hell?" I swear to God, man, it was crazy. So my mother and my aunt was in the living room talking. Me and my cousin was in the other room just listening to them talk and all that other shit. So I think now being as old as I am, doing it, like I wouldn't even say rapping at this point, for real, for real. Like you see where it all started at and where it's all coming to. I'm proud of the where it landed me, you know? And my advice for anyone else, like, it don't matter. It like, I'm gonna say it to you straight up, and this word for word. No matter how old you are or how small you think your dream or it's literally your charisma. It's about your charisma. Like, if you feel like you about to be, like, you can take something somewhere, fuck yeah. Because there's gonna be some motherfuckers that's not gonna fuck with it. There's gonna be some motherfuckers that are. And I learned the hard way. Like, it's gonna be motherfuckers that don't fuck with me then are trying to fuck with me now, you know? Like, they want me to be there with them, but they've already showcased to me that they not trying to be here with me. And your best bet is to just close that door before it gets to the point where too many people are trying to break it down. So as far as and if anything, like, it is what it is. Like, I'm very proud of the numbers that I've made over the course of 5 years being on YouTube, and I'm very proud of that. You know, and it's crazy that I started this whole YouTube thing back in 2014, and now I'm grown. Like, I got a son of my own now, and I gotta basically repeat the process, you know. And frankly, that does my body wonders, for real, for real. But hey, I feel like we all have, like, a different stigma to where we sit at and where we don't sit at with it, you know? And I feel like now that I'm old enough to really figure it out, there's nothing wrong with sharing the process. It's really not.